Every single conversation became a potential minefield. Arguments escalating over absolutely nothing of substance. Every attempt to be considerate somehow got twisted into proof I was controlling her entire life. Every simple question turned into an interrogation in her mind. Every gesture of care became hard evidence of my supposed need to monitor her every single move throughout the day. But somehow, I genuinely didn't see the end coming at all. Not that Tuesday evening. Definitely not like that. The fight kicked off around 7:30 in the evening. I'd grabbed my phone and opened her calendar app to check if she had any plans that night. There was this Italian place near the downtown area she'd mentioned liking a few weeks back, and I wanted to book us a table there. Simple dinner plans, right? Just trying to plan something nice for us. Not according to her interpretation. Melissa walked into the living room and spotted my phone sitting on the coffee table with her calendar pulled up on the screen, and everything just exploded in an instant. What followed wasn't even close to a real discussion. It was a complete explosion. I was controlling her. I didn't trust her at all. I needed to know her every single movement. When I tried explaining about the dinner reservation I wanted to make, she cut me off completely mid-sentence. I can't do this anymore. I need you to back off completely. That's when I noticed the overnight bag sitting by the front door, already packed and ready to go. Laptop unplugged, charging cord wrapped in that precise, neat way she always did it. Car keys clutched tightly in her hand. She wasn't even yelling anymore by that point, just eerily calm in a way that was somehow much worse than the screaming. Back off from what exactly? What did I do? I asked her directly. She wouldn't engage with me at all, wouldn't explain anything. Just kept repeating mechanically that she needed space. Real space, she emphasized very clearly. She was going to stay with her sister Whitney for a while, and would reach out when she was ready, strictly on her terms only. Don't call me, don't text me, just don't. The door closed at exactly 7:53 p.m. I know the precise time because I looked at my watch right after, standing there like a complete idiot, half expecting her to come back through that door and say she'd overreacted, that we could talk this through like reasonable adults. She didn't come back at all. The apartment felt too big suddenly. Not physically larger in size, but emptier in a way I'd never experienced before in my entire life. My footsteps echoed loudly on the hardwood floors as I walked slowly to the kitchen. Her coffee mug from that morning was still sitting in the sink, lipstick stains clearly visible on the white ceramic rim. I could hear the neighbor's TV through the wall for the first time, some game show with canned laughter, something I'd never actually noticed before because there was always conversation filling our space constantly. Music playing from her phone, her on calls with friends, the ambient noise of two people sharing a life together. Now there was just heavy silence and the muffled sound of that game show next door. I ended up sleeping on the couch that night. The bedroom felt completely wrong somehow, too intimate. Too much a space we'd shared together for years. Woke up at 3:17 a.m. like an idiot and checked my phone immediately, squinting at the bright screen in the darkness of the living room. No messages whatsoever, no missed calls, absolutely nothing at all. Spent the next 2 hours replaying the entire fight frame by frame in my head, trying desperately to pinpoint exactly what had triggered it all. The calendar thing, obviously. Something I'd said earlier that day, maybe. Something from last week that had been building up slowly. Was I actually being controlling in some way, or was I just being considerate in a way she'd decided to interpret as controlling? The questions spiraled endlessly in my mind, with no answers coming. Wednesday morning, I made coffee and went through all the motions on complete autopilot. Got to work, sat at my desk, functioned, but barely at all. Around 11:30 that morning, sitting there with my half-eaten lunch in front of me, I made a decision. I sent her one text, just one. Hey, I just want to make sure you're okay. Can we talk about what happened? I watched my phone for 10 solid minutes straight afterward. Nothing came through. Then at 2:45, her response finally arrived. I told you not to contact me. I meant it. Back off. My stomach absolutely dropped reading those words. I typed back very carefully, and I understand. I'm sorry. 5 minutes later, another text from her came through on my screen. You never listened to me. This is exactly the problem. Just stop. I set the phone down on my desk and stared at it for a long while. She'd been crystal clear from the very start. Don't contact her. I tried once, got shut down extremely hard, and she accused me of not listening to her clearly stated wishes. Fine then. Message received loud and clear. That evening after work finished, I sat on the couch in the exact same spot where I'd slept the night before and opened my phone settings deliberately. The apartment was quiet again, but this time it felt different somehow, less oppressive and heavy feeling, more like possibility opening up in front of me. One by one, very systematically, I made changes to my phone. First thing, notifications from her number specifically. I turned them completely off in the settings. Her texts would still come through to my phone, but silently with no indication. No alerts popping up on my screen. No little red badges accumulating on my messaging app icon. No banners interrupting whatever I was doing at any given moment. Nothing at all. Second thing, location sharing. We'd had Find My Friends active for literally years, mostly for practical everyday reasons. Checking if the other person was on their way home yet, seeing if she was stuck in bad traffic, that kind of thing. I disabled it completely right then and there. She could no longer see where I was at any given moment throughout the day or night. The idea should have felt strange, maybe even wrong somehow. Instead, it felt exactly like taking off a too tight watch I'd completely forgotten I was even wearing every day. Third thing, I scrolled down to my favorites list in contacts. Her name sat right at the very top of the list, where it had been positioned for 8 solid years. I removed it just like that with one tap. Fourth thing, emergency contacts in my phone settings. Wife Melissa was listed first in the system. I changed it to brother Patrick instead. Practical, necessary, but also final in a way that made my chest feel both heavy and light at the exact same time. Fifth thing, Instagram and social media. I didn't block her account entirely. That felt way too dramatic, too much like making some kind of public statement for everyone to see. But I unfollowed her profile, stopped her posts from appearing in my feed at all anymore. Last thing, I went into my messaging settings and turned off read receipts specifically for her number only. She wouldn't know when I'd actually seen her messages anymore, if she even sent any more at all. When I finally finished making all those changes systematically, I set the phone down on the coffee table and exhaled fully for what felt like the first time in several days. My shoulders, which I hadn't even realized were tensed up near my ears, dropped down and relaxed completely. The knot in my stomach that had been sitting there constantly since Tuesday evening loosened slightly for the first time. She'd said to back off entirely, so I did, completely, digitally, practically, in every single measurable way possible. Thursday morning felt genuinely different from the previous days. I made myself a full, real breakfast for once. Scrambled eggs with cheddar cheese, crispy bacon, wheat toast with real butter spread thick. Melissa always complained endlessly about heavy breakfast every single morning. Too much cholesterol, she'd say repeatedly. You'll feel sluggish all day long. Why do you eat like that anyway? I ate every single bite that morning and felt absolutely great afterward. At work, Brendan stopped by my desk around mid-morning. You seem different today somehow. Different how exactly? I asked him. I don't know precisely. Less stressed out, maybe. Just slept better last night, I guess. That Friday evening, my phone buzzed with a text from Bryce. I hadn't heard from him in probably 6 months minimum at this point. Beach volleyball tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. sharp. You in? Been way too long, man. I immediately started typing, can't sorry. Then stopped myself mid-word. Why exactly couldn't I go? Melissa wasn't here anymore. She'd explicitly told me to leave her alone completely. I deleted my response completely and typed a new one. Yeah, I'm in. See you at 10. His reply came back fast. No way. For real? That's awesome, man. Saturday morning, I showed up at the Pacific Beach volleyball courts at 9:55 sharp. The marine layer hadn't burned off yet, leaving everything cool and gray feeling outside. Sand was damp and heavy under my sneakers. Bryce was already there waiting with 3 other guys and his girlfriend Morgan. Holy crap, you actually came! Morgan, this is the friend I've been telling you about forever, the one who completely disappeared off the map. Morgan extended her hand to shake mine. Nice to meet you finally. Bryce talks about you constantly, actually. We played hard for 2 solid hours straight. I was definitely rusty at first, no question, but muscle memory kicked in way faster than I'd expected it to. The familiar burn in my calves from jumping repeatedly in deep sand, the satisfying solid thud of a good block at the net. By the second hour, I was keeping pace easily with everyone, even making plays that drew genuine reactions from the other guys on the court. Someone suggested grabbing lunch afterward. I said yes immediately, without hesitating at all, without checking my phone first, without wondering what Melissa might think about it. We ended up at this taco shop on the main avenue, all 7 of us somehow crammed into one booth together. Bryce finally asked the question I absolutely knew was coming eventually. So seriously, what happened with you? You just completely vanished for like 3 solid years straight. Got into a relationship, didn't realize how much I'd let slide away from my life. Now I'm figuring it all out again, piece by piece. He nodded slowly, didn't push any further than that. We talked about completely normal things instead. Work stuff, sports, guys from college, someone's upcoming wedding plans. Easy, natural conversation where I wasn't constantly calculating every single word before speaking it out loud. I realized at some point, probably around my 3rd taco, that I genuinely hadn't thought about Melissa for 3 straight hours. Hadn't checked my phone obsessively every few minutes. Hadn't wondered what she was doing right then. I'd just been completely present in the moment. Sunday evening, I took stock of the entire week carefully. 5 days since she'd actually left the apartment. 4 days since I'd last contacted her at all. 0 messages from her end whatsoever. I'd slept better every single night progressively. I'd attended a social event without anxiety eating at me constantly. Made plans for next weekend already. Small but significant realization forming. I wasn't sitting around passively waiting for her to contact me. I was just living my actual life again. Monday morning, my department head, Raymond, called me into his office unexpectedly. The quarterly report I'd submitted was exceptional work, he said directly. Most thorough analysis he'd seen in 2 full years. He was putting me on the Parker project immediately. High visibility stuff, real career advancement material that mattered. Tuesday at lunch, Brendan cornered me at my desk. Okay, seriously, what's actually going on with you lately? What do you mean? You're different. You're actually smiling. You finished that massive report in literally half the time it usually takes you. You're not checking your phone constantly every 2 minutes like before. I paused for a second. My wife left me last week. His face immediately shifted to concern. Oh man, I'm really sorry to hear that. Don't be sorry at all. I'm realizing I'm genuinely better off without the constant tension. Brendan studied me carefully for a moment. You know what? I actually believe you mean that. Thursday evening, I did something I genuinely hadn't done in 3 full years. I drove over to Mission Cliffs, the rock climbing gym across town. Melissa absolutely hated climbing with a passion. Too dangerous, she always said firmly. Complete waste of time and energy. You always come home totally exhausted and useless for anything else afterward. Quinn was teaching a beginner class when I walked in through the doors. She spotted me immediately from across the gym floor. No way. Is that actually you? Hey, Quinn? Dude, where have you even been? You just completely disappeared off the face of the earth. Long story. I'm back now, though. Your membership's still active in the system somehow. Just renewed it online this morning, actually. She grinned wide at me. Welcome back for real. Let's see if you remember anything at all. I climbed for a full 90 minutes straight without stopping. Every single muscle burned intensely. It felt absolutely incredible, like coming home after years away. Friday evening, my phone rang with an unknown number displayed. Hello? Hi, it's Whitney, Melissa's sister. Hey, Whitney. After some brief, awkward pleasantries, she got straight to the actual point. Melissa was really struggling emotionally right now. Had I reached out to her at all? She told me not to contact her. I'm respecting that specific request. Long pause on her end of the line. But don't you think you should check in anyway, show her you still care? She was extremely clear about what she wanted from me. I'm giving her exactly that. That seems really cold. It's respectful. She made a specific request. I'm honoring it fully. Whitney sounded genuinely confused by my response, and this conversation clearly wasn't going how she'd expected at all. She said she'd tell Melissa I'd asked about her. I didn't ask about her, but you can tell her whatever you want to. The call ended pretty awkwardly after that exchange. By week 3, my entire calendar had filled up completely. Bryce texted about volleyball every single Saturday morning. Quinn invited me climbing Friday nights, always followed by beers at the brewery. Kent, this younger guy I'd met at the gym, asked about hiking the local trails. I said yes to absolutely everything offered. I started doing sunrise photography again at Sunset Cliffs. Hadn't done that in literal years because Melissa always said, "Why do you need to wake up so ridiculously early? Just take pictures later in the day when it's convenient. You're wasting sleep." I posted one shot to Instagram, got 47 likes within an hour, and 3 separate comments asking where I'd been all this time. Thursday of week 3, Jordan called. Melissa's absolute best friend since college. "We need to talk about what you're doing to Melissa right now." What am I doing exactly? "You're ghosting her completely. She's devastated. She told me to back off and not contact her." I did exactly that. She didn't mean it literally, though. How else should I interpret, "Don't call me, don't text me, just don't then"? She wanted you to show you care by trying anyway. That's manipulation, Jordan. If she wants to talk to me, she knows exactly where to find me. Jordan hung up on me right then without another word. Week 4, I'd settled completely into a steady rhythm. Woke up at 6 every single morning consistently. Made a full breakfast without any criticism whatsoever. Got to work early. Focused, productive work with 0 phone distractions whatsoever. Lunch with Brendan. Talking through the Parker project details and timelines. Evenings split evenly between the climbing gym, volleyball games, and photography sessions. Home by 9, in bed by 10:30 sharp every night. Sleeping solid 7.5 hours every single night. Wednesday afternoon, Raymond called me into his office again unexpectedly. The Parker project preliminary results were genuinely impressive, he said. He was actively recommending me for the senior scientist position. Significant raise, way more autonomy, actual leadership role, with real responsibility. Whatever's changed in the last month with you, it's clearly working really well. Keep it up. Thursday evening, Whitney texted me directly. "Melissa is really hurt that you haven't reached out even once. Can you please just call her?" I responded simply and clearly. "She told me not to. I'm following her specific instructions." "You're being incredibly stubborn about this." "I'm being consistent with what she asked for." Friday. Melissa's mom left me a voicemail on my phone. We'd always gotten along well over the years. She said Melissa desperately needed to hear from me, that there'd been some kind of miscommunication between us, that Melissa had made a mistake and was just too proud to admit it now. Please, just think about it carefully. I didn't call back at all. Monday morning of week 5 changed absolutely everything. I had a major meeting scheduled. Quarterly review with Raymond and the entire executive team. 7:30 a.m. start time sharp. This was the genuinely big one, presenting the Parker Project preliminary findings to people who could either greenlight the full expansion or shut it down completely cold. My phone went straight into my bag on silent mode before I even left the apartment that morning. Notifications from Melissa's number had been turned off for 4 solid weeks anyway, so it's not like I would have seen anything even if I'd kept the phone on my desk during work. But in meetings like this one, you don't keep your phone out, period. You're professional, you're focused, you're completely present. The meeting ran seriously long, really, really long. We went incredibly deep into all the data, discussed expansion possibilities extensively, examined detailed timeline projections, debated resource allocation thoroughly. Questions came rapidly from every possible direction. The CFO wanted comprehensive cost-benefit analyses with supporting documentation. The VP of Operations wanted detailed feasibility assessments. Raymond backed my work consistently throughout, which definitely helped, but I still needed to defend every single projection, every assumption I'd made, every conclusion I'd drawn from the data. When we finally wrapped everything up at 11:15, I was mentally exhausted but also energized in that specific way you get when something genuinely significant goes exceptionally well. Several executives had nodded approvingly throughout the presentation. The CFO said directly she was impressed with the work. Raymond caught my eye as everyone filed out of the conference room and gave me a subtle thumbs up signal. Back at my desk finally, I sank down into my chair and pulled out my phone to check if Brendan had texted about lunch plans. The notification on my lock screen read 91 messages. I sat there just staring at those two numbers for several long seconds, not quite processing it properly. 91. That absolutely couldn't be right at all. I opened my phone and started scrolling through them all rapidly, watching timestamps fly past. All from Melissa. Every single one, starting at 8:42 a.m. Hey, are you there? Hello? Can we talk? Please respond to me. I need to talk to you right now. 9:35 a.m. Why aren't you answering me? This is really important. Are you seriously ignoring me right now? I can't believe this. Answer your phone. Where are you? 10:22 a.m. This is completely ridiculous. You can't just ignore me like this. I need to see you. Answer me right now. They escalated rapidly from there. Confusion turning to frustration, turning to anger, turning to desperation, cycling back to anger again repeatedly. By 10:57 a.m., the final message had arrived. Fine, I'm coming to your office. 39 missed calls total, all from her number, all during the 3.5 hours I'd been in that conference room, presenting what might genuinely be the most important work of my entire career so far. I sat back completely in my chair, phone held in both hands, and felt nothing remotely like what I'd expected to feel. No panic whatsoever. No guilt weighing on me. No immediate overwhelming urge to call her back and explain everything. Just this strange, detached observation forming clearly. She'd sent 91 separate messages in just over 2 hours. I typed a response, kept it extremely simple. I was in a meeting. What's going on? 3 dots appeared instantly on screen. She was actively watching her phone, waiting. Stay there. I'm in the parking lot right now. The receptionist called my desk line 5 minutes later. Someone here to see you. She says it's urgent. She seems really upset. I knew exactly who it was. My stomach tightened up, but I stood and walked to the lobby anyway. Walking to the lobby felt completely surreal. My building has glass walls absolutely everywhere, part of that open office design philosophy that's supposed to encourage collaboration. Through the transparent panels, I could see her standing near the reception desk even before I actually reached the main area. Hair completely uncombed, pulled back in a messy knot, eyes obviously red and swollen from crying, hands shaking visibly even from a distance. She was wearing sweatpants and an old college hoodie, clothes I'd literally never seen her wear outside our apartment before ever. The lobby had those glass walls everywhere, completely open floor plan. At least 15 people nearby, most pretending not to watch, but definitely watching closely. Some getting coffee at the station, others waiting around for meetings. I could physically feel their attention shift as I approached her. She saw me and walked over quickly, almost stumbling over her own feet. Where were you? Why didn't you answer me? I kept my voice deliberately calm and low, acutely aware of our audience watching every move. I was in a meeting. My phone was off for 3 hours. It was an extremely important presentation to the executive team. I called you 39 times. I didn't see them. I was working. She was crying now, not quietly, not making any attempt whatsoever to control her volume. Several colleagues had stopped moving entirely, frozen in place. Why didn't you reach out to me? It's been 4 entire weeks. You told me not to contact you. I respected your request. I didn't actually think you'd do it. Around us, the workplace had gone nearly completely silent. Brendan stood frozen near the coffee station, mug halfway to his mouth. 2 women from accounting stared openly. Raymond walked by carrying a folder, slowed down noticeably, made direct eye contact with me. His expression clearly asked if I needed help with the situation. I gave a subtle headshake no. I lowered my voice even further. You said, and I quote exactly, "Don't call me, don't text me, just don't. I took you at your word. You were supposed to fight for us." The words literally echoed off the glass walls around us. Someone's phone buzzed unanswered somewhere. A door opened and closed. Fight for us? You told me to back off. I did. That's what you wanted. No. Her voice cracked hard. I wanted you to show you cared about me. We can't do this here. This is my workplace. I don't care where we are. You've been ignoring me for a month. I haven't been ignoring you. I've been giving you exactly what you asked for. Raymond appeared again, moving slower this time, watching the entire scene carefully. Our eyes met briefly. I turned back to Melissa. We need to leave right now. Not until you explain why you abandoned me. I didn't abandon you. You left. You told me not to contact you. Those were your exact words. She sobbed openly and loudly. Everyone in the entire lobby stared now. Let's go outside, please. She finally nodded agreement. Out in the parking lot, away from the glass walls and all those watching eyes, she kept crying hard. I can't believe you just disappeared completely from my life. You told me to. I didn't mean forever. You said you'd contact me on your terms. I was waiting for you to do that. For 4 weeks, you couldn't check in even once? You were very clear. You said if I contacted you, it proved I wasn't listening. So I listened. She stared at me. You've changed completely. You're cold now. You don't care about me anymore at all. I took a deliberate breath. I care enough to respect your actual words. If that's cold, I don't know what else you want from me. I want you to want to be with me. Then why did you leave? Why did you tell me to back off? Because you were suffocating me completely, always asking where I was, what I was doing every minute. I checked your calendar to make dinner reservations. That's not suffocating, that's planning a date. You don't understand at all. You're absolutely right, I don't understand. You asked for space, I gave you all of it. And now you're upset that I actually did what you asked. Silence stretched between us uncomfortably. Can we talk about this properly? When? Tonight, at home. Not at home. Neutral place. Balboa Park, 6 p.m. by the Botanical Building fountain. Why not home? Because I need boundaries. You showed up at my workplace unannounced, and that's not okay? We'll talk in public. Fine, 6 p.m. She drove away. I returned to the office. Brendan intercepted me immediately on, you okay? Yeah, that was intense. It was. You handled it well, stayed calm throughout. Thanks. At my desk, I realized my hands were shaking slightly, but I also realized something else simultaneously. I wasn't backing down from this position. I arrived at Balboa Park at 5:55 p.m. The sun hung low over the buildings, casting everything in that golden hour light. Tourists wandered around with cameras. A street musician played guitar somewhere nearby. The Botanical Building stood elegant against the early evening sky, its wooden structure filtering light in geometric patterns. She was already sitting on a bench near the entrance, hands folded neatly in her lap. I could see she'd cleaned herself up since this morning. Hair brushed properly, makeup reapplied, wearing actual clothes instead of the sweatpants. She'd been crying again, though. You could tell from the puffiness around her eyes. I sat down beside her on the bench, deliberately leaving about a foot of space between us. Close enough to talk, far enough to maintain the boundary I'd established by insisting on this public meeting instead of our apartment. Thank you for coming. You said we needed to talk. I've had a lot of time to think over these 4 weeks. She took a breath. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have left like that. I shouldn't have told you not to contact me. I waited, said nothing, let her continue talking. I was scared. You were always so present, always there, always asking about my day, my plans, my schedule constantly. I felt like I couldn't breathe, like I had no space that was just mine. She twisted her hands together nervously. But then when you actually gave me space, when you really backed off completely, I realized I didn't want it after all. I wanted you to be there. So you tested me. She hesitated, seemed to wrestle with the admission. Maybe I did, I don't know, maybe subconsciously. You wanted to see if I'd chase you, if I'd ignore what you said and contact you anyway. I wanted to know you cared enough to fight for us. And when I didn't chase you, when I took your words at face value, you decided I didn't care. You really didn't contact me for 4 whole weeks? You told me not to, explicitly, in very clear terms. But you could have anyway. No. I said it firmly enough that an older couple walking past glanced over at us. I softened my tone but kept the firmness intact. I couldn't. You set a boundary, a very specific boundary. I respected it. That's how healthy communication works. You say what you mean, I listen. I take you seriously. I don't play games trying to decode what you secretly wanted me to do instead of what you actually said. More tears came streaming down. I just wanted you to fight for us. Fighting for us means respecting you enough to take your words seriously, not dismissing them as games or tests, not assuming you say things you don't mean. The silence stretched longer. The sun had dipped lower, shadows lengthening across the lawn, temperature dropping noticeably. The street musicians switched to a different song. So what now? I'd thought about this extensively over the weeks. The last 4 weeks I've been doing things I completely stopped when we got together. Seeing friends I'd lost touch with, climbing 3 times a week, photography at sunrise, beach volleyball every Saturday morning. Normal activities that somehow became impossible when we were together. And I've been happier, sleeping through the night for the first time in months, working better than I have in years. I got recommended for senior scientist. People at work noticed the change. My friends noticed. Everyone noticed. So you're happier without me? I'm happier without the constant tension, without feeling like I'm always doing something wrong, without walking on eggshells constantly, trying to figure out if you mean what you say or if I'm supposed to interpret the opposite. Long silence. Sunset was starting properly now, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. A couple walked past with a golden retriever that stopped to sniff near our bench. "Do you want to try again?" she asked quietly, almost whispering. I took my time answering properly. Honest answer? I don't know. You left. You told me very specifically not to contact you. You got angry when I took those words seriously and actually listened. That's not a pattern I want to live with. That's not healthy for either of us. I can change. Can you, though, or will you promise to change and then 6 months from now, a year from now, we'll be right back here having this exact conversation with a different version of the same test? That's not fair to say. It's honest. It's the question I need answered before I can even think about trying again. You told me to back off. I did exactly that. You showed up at my office this morning crying and shaking because I took you at your word. That's not a foundation either of us should build anything on. I leaned back on the bench. I think we both need more time. Real time, not manufactured space. Actual time to figure out who we are separately. She stood up abruptly. You're saying you want a divorce? I'm saying I won't chase someone who told me to back off and then punish me for listening. If you want to work on this, we'd need counseling, real counseling. And you'd need to say what you mean. And what about you? I need to figure out if I want to go back to walking on eggshells or if I prefer the life I've been living these past weeks. She walked away without looking back. I sat there for 20 more minutes watching the sunset complete. My phone buzzed. Text from Bryce about a volleyball tournament that weekend. I'll be there, I responded immediately. Over the next 3 days, Melissa sent 14 separate texts. Can we talk again? I'm sorry for everything. Please don't give up on us. I love you. I responded once, I need time to think. Please respect that. She called twice. I didn't answer, sent a text instead. I said I need time. After the third day, she stopped completely. 2 weeks later, Raymond made it official. Senior scientist position was mine starting next month. Brendan organized celebration drinks. 7 of us went to this brewery in La Jolla. I told stories, laughed genuinely, had real fun. Brendan's girlfriend, who'd come along, said to him, not realizing I could hear, "He seems really happy. Is he always like this?" No, this is new, and it's good. 6 weeks after our park meeting, Quinn commented during a climbing session, "You've gotten way better. You're climbing harder routes than you did 3 years ago. I have more time to practice and more focus. You're present when you're here, not distracted." Kent joined us. "We're planning a Joshua Tree trip next month. You in?" "Absolutely." 3 months after Melissa left, she sent divorce papers. I signed them immediately and sent them back. No hesitation, no second-guessing whatsoever. She'd made her choice clear. 4 months after the separation, I moved to a new apartment in North Park entirely. Smaller 1-bedroom, but entirely mine. Decorated exactly how I wanted. Climbing photos on the walls. I'd even bought a surfboard. Bryce was teaching me. Work continued going well. The senior position was everything I'd hoped for. I mentored junior staff, led projects, felt genuinely engaged. Life was full. Volleyball every Saturday, climbing twice weekly, monthly hiking trips, sunrise photography sessions. I'd gone on one coffee date with a friend of Morgan's. It was fine, not pushing anything serious. Ran into Whitney at a coffee shop in La Jolla one afternoon. How are you? Good, really good. Melissa said you signed the papers right away. She wanted the divorce. I wasn't going to make it difficult. Do you regret anything? I thought for a moment. No, I regret that it ended the way it did, but I don't regret respecting what she asked for. And I don't regret finding myself again. 9 months after everything started, my volleyball team made the finals at a Pacific Beach tournament. We won. Bryce clapped me on the back hard. When you came back, I didn't think you'd stick with it, but you're all in. I forgot how much I missed this, how much I missed having a life outside of one person. Morgan smiled. That's healthy. Relationships should add to your life, not become your entire life. Later that day, scrolling Instagram, I saw Melissa had posted a photo with someone new. It showed up through a mutual friend's story. She'd been tagged at a restaurant, smiling, looking happy. I felt nothing, no jealousy, no regret. Just a mild good for her and kept scrolling. 18 months after our separation, I was at a coffee shop in North Park on a Sunday morning, reading, editing photos on my laptop. Peaceful routine. Someone sat at the next table. I glanced up. Melissa. Awkward moment of recognition. Hi. Hey, how are you? Good. You? Good. I'm engaged, actually. Congratulations. Thanks. You seeing anyone? Casually, nothing serious, not really looking. Silence. I wanted to say I'm sorry for how everything happened, for the games, for showing up at your office. That was wrong. I appreciate that. You were right about the counseling, about saying what I mean. I'm working on it now with someone new. That's good. I'm glad you're doing that. Are you happy? Yeah, I am, she nodded. You look it. I saw your Instagram. It's still public. The climbing, the photography. You seem lighter. I am. I'm glad. You deserve that. So do you. She stood to leave. It was good to see you. You too. After she left, I returned to editing a photo from yesterday's sunrise shoot at Sunset Cliffs. Kent texted about climbing that evening. I confirmed for 7. Finished my coffee. Looked out the window at the sunny San Diego morning. She wanted space. I gave it to her. Gave it to myself, too. Best decision I ever made.